You wake up on a random Tuesday. Nothing looks different. Same house. Same job. Same bank app. But something invisible has already shifted. You've entered your 40s. And from this point forward, time stops being flexible and starts becoming expensive. Not emotionally, mathematically. Because in your 20s, mistakes are cheap. In your 30s, they're manageable. But in your 40s, mistakes compound faster than your money does. And that's the uncomfortable part no one says out loud. This decade isn't about getting rich. It's about whether you quietly lock in your future or quietly lose control of it. Let's make this simple. Most people think financial success in your 40s is about earning more. It's not. By this stage, income matters less than structure. You can be earning a lot and still be behind. Or earning average and quietly winning. Because what actually matters now is how your financial system is wired. And most people don't realize they're running outdated wiring. Here's the shift. In your 20s and 30s, you were building career, income, lifestyle. In your 40s, you're no longer building. You're locking assets, locking habits, locking outcomes. Because from here on, your margin for correction shrinks. And your financial life becomes less about effort and more about momentum. Let's start with the first milestone most people misunderstand. Not debt-free. Controlled debt. There's a difference. By your 40s, you should not be carrying chaotic high-interest debt. Credit cards rolling month to month. Personal loans stacking quietly. That's not just a bad habit. That's a mathematical leak. Because at 20% interest, your money isn't growing. It's bleeding. And here's the part people ignore. Every dollar paying interest is a dollar not compounding. And compounding is the only real advantage you still have left. So the goal isn't no debt at all. The goal is strategic debt. Low interest. Predictable. Purposeful. Think housing. Maybe business. Not consumption disguised as convenience. Because in your 40s, bad debt doesn't just slow you down. It traps you in place. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Savings alone won't save you. That sounds strange. But it's true. Most people in their 40s feel safe because they have money sitting in the bank. But safety is an illusion if that money isn't moving. Because inflation doesn't wait. If your money grows at 3% and your cost of living grows at 7%, you're not saving. You're shrinking. Quietly. Every year. And the problem is, it doesn't feel like a loss. You still see the same numbers. But their power is fading. So the second milestone is not just saving. It's owning assets that outpace inflation. Not trendy assets. Not hype-driven bets. But real, boring, consistent vehicles of growth. Things that produce returns without constant attention. Because in your 40s, your time is no longer cheap. You don't want to babysit your money. You want your money to function without you. And here's the irony. The less exciting the investment sounds, the more likely it is doing its job properly. Now let's talk about something people avoid completely. Your timeline. Because this is where the math becomes very honest. Let's say you're 42. You want financial independence by 60. That gives you 18 years. Sounds like a long time. It isn't. Because compounding works best over long horizons. 30 years. 40 years. Not 15. Not 10. So now, every decision you make carries more weight. Every delay matters more. Every missed year is harder to recover from. This is where the system quietly punishes hesitation. And this leads to the third milestone. Clarity of endpoint. Not a vague idea like, I want to be comfortable. That's not a plan. That's a wish. You need numbers. How much monthly income will you need? What lifestyle are you maintaining? What expenses disappear? What new ones appear? Healthcare. Family support. Unexpected costs. Because here's what happens to most people. They don't fail because they didn't save. They fail because they never defined what enough actually meant. So they either overshoot blindly or undershoot dangerously. And both outcomes look the same in the beginning. Normal.